there's not a whole lot of movement, but Deere does have something going on this morning. They announced their earnings, and they were beat on both sides, and they raised their guidance. Usually when that happens, when they raise their guidance, that means there's a positive outlook going forward. Investors tend to buy into that some more. So maybe that's a stock to watch this morning, but we wouldn't get here if we didn't have something happening in, sorry to get a little political, in Congress. We seem to have both sides starting to agree on some things.
I know. Thank God, right?
One of the things one of the things they're starting to agree on, it seems, is climate change. You have the House GOP a couple months ago created a climate change panel, and just as recently as last week, I think we had some comments about one senator saying that they're warming up to it, but they don't see oil or some of these more traditional fossil fuels going away anytime soon. So that's safe statement for Chevron, Exxon, and those oil stocks. However,
would not agree more.
The idea that they're still willing to maybe look at the other side of the issue and find a way to mitigate the problems that burning fossil fuels are causing, that's an opportunity for some money to be made. And one of the stocks that have been thrown around a lot in happy hour is a company called Char Solutions, where they are a coal ash remediation company. This is not my pick. This is a much smarter person than me. They've been bringing this up in if you're a subscriber, you get to have access to certain after Bill Bell shows like Happy Hour, and a lot of really smart people there that toss around some very, very good information. And that's one of the ones we're looking at is coal ash remediation, or some other green plays out there. But this is the one that we like the most.
So tell us more about Char. What do they do, and why did they catch your eye along with the happy hour, the afternoon?
This was not my pick. This was something.
I know, but you like them, right? They're catching some part of your attention.
I like the way that this was explained to me, what they do and how they are getting a lot of contracts that are good for about 5 years out or more. They just had earnings that was.
Oh wow. Yeah,
but they just got a lot of funding, a lot of other their debt restructured. So that's bullish going forward. If people are willing to, or if companies are willing to give them money, they're doing something right. Now I don't have as much of an insight as this some of the folks do on the that are in this one as much more than I am. But I like this company's. I like the company's take their idea. They have coal ash remediation, which is basically there's a bunch of coal ash ponds from burning ash in these burning coal in these power plants, and some of them have the byproduct is ash, but they can use that to make concrete. And that's what this company does. So they have two sides that they can play this, where they are cleaning up the what's left over from shut down coal plants, and use that byproduct to make something that we're going to need a lot of, since the infrastructure deals are starting to go forward.
So they need a lot of the cleanup, or need a lot of the coal ash for the concrete, or a combination of both?
Well, this is mostly just on a they're getting these contracts for cleaning up the coal ash as a side thing. They're using that.
Able to use that. Yes. Gotcha. Okay, so the cleanup is the big kind of the money maker, and which we'll need for the infrastructure. This is the same thing I ask all the time, and folks remember I'm a financial advisor, or was. So you have to show me the proof, and I'm not pointing to you, Joseph, but when is this going to show up on the bottom line? Now, tell me more about the infrastructure deal. I assumed that it was signed, it was done. Right, and I understood there was that second half, the 3.5 trillion, which I did not want to actually see go. I think 4 trillion is a little bit too high, but is the 1.5 set? Is that being sailed? Is that coming down the road?
That's my understanding for that one. And the 3.5, that's supposed to be geared towards families and
right
child tax credits.
Does the 1.5 depend on the 3.5?
I don't think it does.
All right.
Wait. Hold on. Avan, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
so
I want to hear what Avan has to say.
When does this show up? That's all. Okay, but go ahead, Avan, go ahead.
So the 1 trillion passed the Senate, and it's locked up in Congress because Congress is holding it for ransom because the Dems want to have the 3.5 trillion Green New Deal package passed. So until the Republicans agree to pass it on their side for the 3.5, they're holding up the 1 trillion until that deal gets done. So we're basically in limbo, and Lord only knows when the horizon is going to come to fruition. So I mean, it's politics as usual. You know, it'll take a month of Sundays before it gets passed because the people that we voted to take care of business for us are more concerned about their self-interest. But I digress.
I love the idea. I absolutely, and I'm an owner of Chara. If anybody did know, and I got into Chara over the summer from a Benzinga Pro happy hour.
Yeah, some of these they'll take a little bit longer to turn around, but this
I love it.
One of the things that this needs to happen is this needs to get more noticed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This will start getting headlines. At least the space, the cleanup space, probably in a year, maybe less. So this is a long hold. But seeing as how we're starting to move toward the cleanup of everything, don't worry. This will, eventually this is a good one. But this is the infrastructure deal is something that needs to get taken care of. And it is being held up. But you're probably looking at somewhere in the fall that this will start to see the weak hands either go ahead and start passing things or getting I'm sorry, in terms of the of Congress, you'll start seeing deals being made probably closer to that that time in the fall when they can start. I think coming back.
I believe that, and I'm excited for it. I think it is going to be a great long-term pick because the thesis is so simple and it's timely, and it's so logical. That's it. This company is already primed to clean up our mess, to do something that we need to do. They're under the radar. I don't think it's going to become $100 out of nowhere, but I could see this. I could see this having a couple great pops as a couple contracts roll in, and I could see this absolutely maturing and growing your capital over the long term. This would be absolutely something as a business model I'm into. I think the stock's going to be a good price right now. I like it. I think it really was a good spot, a good find.
Yeah, I like this. What they're going to end up doing, and like I said, come on happy hour. You'll find we can talk more about this one and all the different other themes that we're looking into.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what I've learned being in this community is that if you start looking at themes and going forward and what stocks are trading in those themes, you're going to generally more or less beat the puck to the space. You're gonna go where the puck's going.
Love that. Oh, good analogy too, bro.
As Ryan Faluna likes to say.
Good one. He is a Blackhawks fan. That sucks, but that's a very, very good analogy. And yeah, that is a nice little privilege that the Benzinga Pro members, that everybody here in the chat room is with us, get to there is a daily happy hour. Ours happens to be on Friday, but there's a daily happy hour where themes, stocks, and ideas are discussed in every single manner. Ours is a little more fun, I'd like to say. However, man, jump in Benzinga Pro, start your 3-week trial. I'll give it to you free. Just mention my name, mention Avan's name, now mention Joseph's name. You'll get 3 full weeks for free. Start with us and become a member, and you'll get access to a happy hour every single day just for the Benzinga Pro members. It's pretty awesome. To the YouTube community, so glad you're here. Jump into Benzinga Pro. Just shoot me an email, call in, say, hey, I talked to Mike. I need my trial. I'll hook you up. Plus, I've always got discounts if you really need one. But Regardless, awesome. Now, Joseph, anything else on your mind, man? We're giving you the floor to start the day, hombre.
I really want to hear what the community's got going on, because I haven't been around. So I'd like to see what everybody else is looking at.
Love your style, dude.
What I like how Gary says he looks
like
a hour show. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We don't just talk stocks, and it's not very boring. There's a lot of really fun characters there. We do a lot of engagement, but we do have a lot of very good ideas that people have made money on. One of the things we just did was the SPY. We had the same gentleman that got me interested in Chara. He is expecting, and some of us were, but he was expecting this move in the SPY yesterday, where it comes down in pre-market and then trades up all day. And
what? No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's been in the market for such a long time that this is something that he comes to expect when he sees certain moves like this. I won't tell you. I mean, I don't know how he does it. He's very, very fundamental guy. But his experience alone is worth coming into the half hour. And
he's really nice. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's just a fun, like, he's a guy, folks, he's the guy that you want to go get a beer with after work and talk about stocks and talk about music. He's just a cool guy. So, and that's kind of, what we're doing here. So nice. We got a great ticker in the chat. I want to make sure, Robert, are you talking about Alpha? Is this Alpha Performance? Is this what you're looking for? Come now, speak up, or forever hold your peace. I'm not so sure I'm familiar with this. Artificial Intelligence Enterprise. Oh, okay. Well, I like that already.
I've seen this one get traded a lot. This, by the way, in Benzinga Pro, you do have a chat that's built into the platform itself.
Right here.
A lot of people do put out tickers they're looking at, what's moving, because they all want to help each other trade.
That's it, man.
So
that's the name of the game.
You're going to see tickers like ALF pop up a lot, and this one has had a lot of movement. As you can see, it was moving a whole bunch in June, and now it's coming down off those highs. But we've come down below the 50, and it looks like it's the 50-day moving average, and now it's looking like it's trying to retest that and fail.
It is. And, it is.
But we'll see what happens today. There's a lot of talk about a pullback or a correction looming, and of course I think that's definitely happening at some point, probably either between now and the end of this month. I'm sorry, end of next month. We could see some pretty big corrective movement. But every time that we think something like that's happening, the market proves us wrong and says, no, we're going higher.
And I mean, I remember 2 months ago or so, there was also like a few bad days in a week. CNBC had the markets in turmoil, the shit going on all the time. It was like a flash. It was like 10% down and leveled out and kind of.
Wasn't it a month? Wasn't it like a month ago that we had like $700 to $900 drop?
In 4 days, we went from a high of what was this, 437 to a low of 421. That was just in 4 days, and then we bounced back up and made new highs.
Right here. Yep. Yeah, dude. Exactly. It was here.
And we did the same thing a month prior to that in June.
Yep. Right here too, and a little bit there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. I agree. The writing's on the wall. That makes sense. And this would be like the third time. So if the market really does want to pump the brakes a little bit, it seems like this would be it. But at the same time, it hasn't stopped before. It built up all this new momentum after doing so, and the bears were fully in charge for that time frame. I don't know. I guess my optimism doesn't want to cease. I think I would be like, let's see how it goes. Now, by the end of the year, December, I could see something a little bit more severe, albeit still just as quick, a la the Christmas Eve crash of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Do you guys remember that? When it went down, Dow went down.
That was on the interest rates going up, right?
That was insane. I don't remember exactly the trigger, but I mean, it was like, bam. No, saw that. I remember it was a Lions game watching. Just like, ooh. Anyway, cool. So before we get out of here, let's go back to ELF because I want to learn more about this. So artificial intelligence, love that. Big into the space. I think everybody agrees that there's so many things that connect to that, not only for commerce, but government, and it's just going to affect everything. And obviously tech is going to be the sector to take off in this whole decade. Artificial intelligence is going to be a huge support within there. Tell me more about that.
Did anybody see AI Day yesterday?
That fucking dancing robot was the dumbest thing I have ever seen. I don't, Avan, I can't bring it up because I am going to get pissed off at that fucking idiot in a suit. That was so dumb.
And we know how much you love Elon, so that was just
my girlfriend.
Rude. I knew that if I brought that up, that you were going to lose your shit.
I'm on the verge. I am very, very angry. The whole day was dumb. It didn't show me anything.
I'm just looking at this as Alfie stock, and yeah, it is a low float stock, so this is great for a day trade. I don't see a whole lot of fundamental information on this in Benzinga, so I'd have to dig
not a ton.
Hey, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
What's up? Talk to us.
I'm on a new computer this week, and I just realized it doesn't have a camera. So
that's all right.
So sorry, there's no video this week. I don't understand the artificial intelligence of this company. However, the CEO has been on a couple different business centers, and what they are doing is revolving around Uber and Lyft, all of these ride shares, and they put these LED panels in the back of these ride share cars, and somehow it knows kind of like who you are, what you are, or whatever, and it gives ads to you based on what type of person or whatever it thinks you are. And they just ordered another 150,000 of these panels from Lenovo, and supposedly they're really taking off. Their stock has been all over the place, and it's been great for day trading. But I've gotten caught a couple times where it's taken 2 or 3 weeks to get out of some slumps, where I've ended up turning a day trade into a very long swing.
Robert, are you talking about with Alphi specifically or in general right now?
No, with Alphi specifically.
I see, man. And I'm looking at that headline right now from July 7th, shares trading higher. The company announced it will commence installation of tablets in Uber and Lyft vehicles in Orlando and Tampa. Company is also ordering additional 10,000 tablets. Yeah, there's quite a bit here on that.
Yeah, and there's 12 other major cities that they're already in.
Wow.
And supposedly, once this gets launched, we're going to find it in elevators of offices,
gas stations, maybe.
Hotels. Right. So I haven't gotten to do all my due diligence I would like to be able to do on this stock to know what all of its capabilities are. That's why I wanted to see if you all had seen anything about it yet yourself.
Well, I'll tell you this. You do have earnings coming up in 11 days.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That might be a potential catalyst to get out of any bags you're in. It's looking like it could be turning around, but I don't want to, just go out there and say that that's what's happening. It needs to get. You can draw a trend line from the top of the June 28th high to basically yesterday, and that's the trend line I like to see it close over before I get bullish on it. It's below the 20-day moving average. It's below the 50-day moving average. There's not a whole lot more down here except the recent bottom. I don't want to see it test that. I'd probably have a stop if it's going to start going below that again.
Yeah, I'm in a good position with it right now. But as far as like earlier this week, it dropped into I think it was 680s or 690s, and I bought a bunch that morning, and that day it shot up over 10.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
And it tends to do that a couple times a month.
I see that right here. That was what, the 17th, 18th, so like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome trade there. Wow.
It's a fun one to watch for some volatility, and it seems like they have enough technology behind them. They're not just going to be a fly-by-night thing.
And I like that. I appreciate that. You know, what is the bull thesis here? And it's great to hear you having that fundamental there.
And the way I understand it, this is personalized advertising for you based on where you are, and they're just trying to get their product everywhere, so that once your phone kind of gives a hint to this company that you're in the vicinity, it's going to start doing adverts just for you.
That's what I'm thinking. This guy has to pick it up from the phone, or maybe it can't hear you. It couldn't listen in on your conversation with your passenger, right? Like,
sure, it could.
I'm sure it could. You could probably have it make it do that, but even if without that, it's probably going to take data that's bound to you in some way, and be like, hey, look, Alfie, this person's interested in this shit. And
you figure that right, your Uber or your Lyft is already attached to your credit card, and everybody sells all of your personal information to each other, right? So
true.
Everything will be obviously geofenced, so the closer you get to a business, it'll pop up advertisements, but it'll also probably start tailoring advertisements to what your likes are just by your browsing history, or who your contacts are, or what your job is. I mean, we've gotten to a point now to where, advertising is just going to be completely selectorized and, completely, tailored. Under the thumb, and it's completely tailored to you. So it just won't be a one for everybody. It'll be each individual person is individually advertised to.
Robert, I got one more question for you. What spurred what got you to make that trade early this week? Was it just the price, and that you're like, hey, I'm going to scoop up these shares for the long run? I like the company. You had this nasty trend line. You saw it coming down, hit that 670, and maybe even a little bit lower. Why'd you buy? And it was a great buy.
Well, it had been trading in the 8s and 9s, and it just kept going down and down. And they came out with the announcement that, in fact, I think it was, I could be wrong about this, but I think I saw it on Benzinga first.
Well, I love it, man. I love it, hombre.
Where the additional tablets were being ordered from Lenovo.
Yeah.
And I've traded in and out of this stock for about the last 3 months. And when it got down into the 6s, it was just, and I know these can get you in trouble sometimes, but it was just one of those gut feelings that it's not going to go lower. It's going to at least get back up to 9, because it's played with 18 to 20 before. So I just took a shot on it, and it played out like it's kind of done in the past.
My man.
And you saw this on Benzinga back in June when they were talking about their $2 million buyback announcement.
Yeah, I follow a few things. I spend most of my time on Benzinga. That's why I was saying, if I had to say where I saw it, Benzinga, but it very well could have come from a couple other things that I follow. But as soon as that information came out about the 150,000 tablets, and as soon as it dropped into the 6s, I was like, it's another good entry point.
I'm totally with you on that. And folks, that would make sense because, I guess it was back to, that news was there, and we just featured them on our reopening summit. If you got a chance to check it out this week, there was a lot of good information in there. Of course, it's all recorded. Just check out Benzinga YouTube. You'll be able to find that information. The reopening summit was there. I know we did feature them. I'm sure that combination kind of, triggered something. That is fantastic, man. And I know I'm looking at a 4-hour chart here, which is, not always kosher, but man, that thing took off. You had a great couple of trades in there. And I agree, man. I think it was kind of, that gut feeling on that was maybe a little more subconscious, than you think. It was trending down right here.
Let me help you with your gut feeling there. This, when you bought it, it had been the most oversold the stock had ever been.
Boom.
So your RSI had dipped below 40 for the first time ever, and that was a really good call. That was your gut feeling is a very good RSI indicator.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that right there. There you go. And he picked it up and it just took off. Good call, man.
Hey, looking on the Alfie website, it says that they are going to be using what they call its facial detection. Basically, it's facial recognition. So they'll be using the tablets to do facial recognition to figure out who you are, use advertising accordingly, apparently.
So masks might not only be a thing to prevent COVID, but they might also be a thing to prevent identity.
Yeah. Good call. Good call. Okay, well, great spot there. What other tickers, guys? And one question. Okay, so this is something I wanted to bring up personally.
Thank you, Robert. By the way, this is great.
We love it, man. That was awesome. Great find. Very happy for you. Great trade. I hope you treat yourself to a steak dinner this weekend. It's your fancy winnings. Maybe a good tomahawk ribeye. So one thing we wanted to bring up is, and we kind of just alluded to it with this. Where's this market this week? It's been down. Is it going to stay down? I don't think so. Who knows? I think yesterday wasn't terrible. What does everybody think is the best value right now? Is there something you've been waiting to buy? And I'm going to jump to my watch list. And I'm going to show you. We have a show watch list too, but I'm going to show you a couple things on my personal watch list that I'm like, oh man, I absolutely getting crushed on GM. But another entry point, I believe in the price target of the $85. Even if it hits 75, I'd be happy with that. We don't need to go into Macy's though. Macy's has been on my watch list for a long time. I would love to pick up Ford always, if I can pick up more. I'm glad I didn't buy at $12.87. I had to stop. Actually, I'm sure I got triggered on that now. Regardless, guys, what do you see out there that you've been waiting to scoop up? Is there one stock in your portfolio or on your watch list that you have you're going to double down on, add some more shares? What do you think is the most valuable out there right now with this correction or this turbulent week? Let me put it that way.
If you're going to be in anything, I think be in something that has a good balance sheet that's got good fundamentals, because value is eventually going to come back. Probably not right away. I think I said a while back, I think we before as this month started, we'll probably see rotation possibly back into growth with debt being as cheap as it is. Some of these companies reporting, some of these really good companies reporting in small caps, and small caps still getting beaten up. I think it's only a matter of time before people, if we start seeing a rotation into these smaller companies that are actually making money. And the way that the IWM has been, it's just been pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's been bearish.
Yeah,
for a while. And to me, that's kind of the indication that it can't last forever. AMC kind of pulled it down a bit yesterday because IWM is, I think, has the heaviest weight in AMC compared to all the others. But this sideways consolidation has been going on all year, and I don't think it'll last forever. It just, some of these companies that are doing really good in small caps just need to get noticed, get picked up. But I like growth, and then I like the value later on this year.
Well, let's jump into, and I think the small cap, I think if anything, they're going to get crushed the most. If we're going to have that fundamental change in the market, they're just going to get wiped out. And because there is so much speculation into so many small companies. I'll give you a great one that I'm getting hounded on. This link, oh my God, I did not need to see that price. This is a great example of a company where the potential is so good, it's so there, but it feels like the future is getting further and further out of its reach every day. And there's, long story short, they're a camera company. They have a ton of applications from sports, entertainment, military, municipal, police departments. There's a ton of applications for the camera, but small cap not getting attention, too much speculation. I think the market's moving a little bit on. That's what I see on now. I'll bring up Vanguard value just to kind of bring up synopsis. Wow, a little bit of a difference between IWM. Wouldn't you say, Joseph?
Yeah, it's looking like it's kind of broadening more than as it's consolidating. But it's not as down as the in the middle. as the IWM is. It's looked like it's actually made new highs recently, and then or tested the highs recently, and then came back down. So if we turn around and test that again, we could probably go higher. But people, investors need to come in and start getting this. Good morning, Richard, by the way. People need to start coming in and looking at the value of certain small caps, because there are some that are doing really, really well.
Give me one that's doing great.
One that I really, so in terms of the stock price, it's not doing what I want, but it's what I really like, that I own, that I've been talking about a lot on the happy hours, is Ammo Inc., which is POWW. This company just continues to is on a growth run right now, and they continue to raise their guidance.
Wow, buddy!
They beat their earnings every time. They just had an earnings beat this month, and then they raised their guidance for their next earnings, which is in middle of October.
Love that.
And they just had an acquisition or a merger with I think it was gunbroker.com, or some online company that sells guns. I think this is a good company going forward. They've been on an uptrend for a long time now. We've been testing that trend line, but if we don't hold here, of course, I think this is just pulled down by the market because it's in the Russell. But I still think this is also another really good company that has growth potential going forward into probably into next year, maybe more. I don't know where this ends up. I'm in this right now. I wanted to get it underneath 8 after it had their last earnings before this month, and if it goes down to like $6 and less and below that, I'll get stopped out. That's where I have my stop at. But I like this company. I'm going to be adding more to it as soon as I see a reversal in the price and it start to move away from this trend line.
Well, its market cap is only 805 million, and I mean, you cannot buy ammo and most guns because of supply issues. I mean, you go to a Bass Pro Shop and they have 5 guns out of the 200 they usually have, and try and buy 9mm ammunition right now, or AR ammunition. It's absolutely impossible. So this company should be at 6, 7, 8 times its market cap, unless of course its infrastructure isn't built to ramp up to those kinds of requirements. I mean, the market is just primed for a company that's making ammunition to, take over the world. I mean, I can't even get it.
Right here. Well positioned to steadily ramp up production to fulfill strong demand within mid-cycle of ammunition industry. Thank you, Benzinga Pro. That's in the news. You can make it any easier.
They also have a military contracts as well. One of them they recently got for a type of round for long-range rifles, so that you can use, so you don't have to re-zero your scope. It's in the news somewhere, but they're coming out with some pretty good technology, and they make ammunition, of course, but they also have like a research segment into this.
Now, are you talking about their GPS enabled rounds?
I think that's the one. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they've been being field tested for the last 10 years. Basically, you laze the target downrange, it gets a GPS location, and then you can turn your gun the opposite way and fire it, and the thing will spin around and go to the target because it's already lazed the GPS location.
But how does
I know you're talking about. That's not this. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just talking about a particular round that can be swapped out for another one they use without needing to re-zero your scope.
Dude.
That one that you're talking about, Avan, that one I've seen before too, where it basically will not allow you to fire. I've seen others where when you're talking about others where it won't allow you to fire unless the scope that you have, the computer scope, thinks that you have a shot. So
that's cool. That's something completely different. I'm talking about the rounds that you can once you laze the target with and it gives that GPS locator on the bullet itself. You can turn your gun anywhere, and it goes exactly to where you would.
I haven't heard of that.
How does the bullet change direction mid-flight? It's a it has limited energy and it has no wings. But you're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. You know this shit better than I do.
All you've got to do is adjust fins, man. That's all you have to do. Just like they're building planes that don't have any ailerons or any. I mean, they don't have any tail fins or any of that stuff because everything's done with propulsion now. But the bullets now with the GPS locator, dude, you can actually the new rounds that they're designing, where say you're shooting at somebody downrange and they're hiding behind a wall that they keep ducking down behind, right?
Yeah.
Normally you shoot a bullet and it would just keep flying past them over their head. Well, now with these rounds, you laser the target for the exact distance and the thing will go and explode right when it gets above their head.
Oh, okay.
So basically you're able to kill people behind walls and behind targets.
Wow. I hope we keep that one under lock and key. A couple things I really like about ammo. I really, really like their revenue growth, obviously. I love the margin on their EBITDA. Most importantly, though, I love just basically their gross margin. They're just going to make a ton of money off of that. Sounds like the company's an efficient company. Sounds like, from what I can generally tell from the news, and one way I like to gauge a company is to read the news to get some sort of a feel of its momentum that I can try to tie back inside to the management team or what's going on behind the scenes. Seeing this awesome gross margin and having their guidance range, it sounds like, they don't have just a great idea, they have great people running a great idea. That's important to me. And then the volume is awesome too. I mean, 2 million's not huge, but compared to some of my small caps that are absolutely failing me right now, I'll take the 2.5 million average volume. I mean, that is killer. So no pun intended. This is definitely. Oh, dude, look at this range too. Oh my goodness, man, it's kind of a little bit to the higher side of its range, but it is as low as $2 earlier in the last 52 weeks. That's amazing.
It's on a growth run.
Yeah, man. Damn, I wish I would have known about this one.
And this is kind of consolidating a bit, but and you can go and look at other companies in similar space like Ruger or SWBI, which are gun manufacturers, and they're not as sideways. They're kind of look like they're trending down a bit. This one looks like they could actually be they're trending up over the 52-week period. But like if you go to RGR, that one had a high, and now it looked like it's starting to come down. This one could still come back up with ammo, but all these ammo and gun plays, they're all down. They're all down right now, but they'll come. I think they'll come back up.
Yeah, they've got at least a quarter or two of good earnings behind them. I just don't see that changing.
But this Ruger especially is kind of right in a good support level, especially from that January spike coming up to help. You can see right there over on the left side of your chart.
I like that. Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
And if you back even further out, you can see that it's there's also consolidation at this price level too. Let's go to like your chart.
Gotcha. How far out do we have to go? This is
set it to a day. You're on daily. So just back out. You can see the from last year where we're at. Just from last year. You see this? Look at the consolidation just before we hit the highs in August 2020. That's where we're at right now.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Got you right about here. Gotcha.
So it looks like this is a pretty good level for this stock. I think SWBI looks similar. Yeah. We also had a January 6th was a level that it got up to. I remember that day.
Not gonna lie, I like the guns. I like the gunplay. Most of these charts do look awesome, but I really think ammo is just like the winner, man.
Yeah.
Based on the price, based on appreciation, I think you're gonna sell more bullets than you are guns. Obviously, you put 9 bullets in.
On a side note for ammo, you know what a tracer round is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so tracer rounds have an incendiary charge to them, so they have a tendency of causing things on fire when when they're hitting them, right? Obviously. Well, Ammo Incorporated has got a round called a streak visual ammunition that basically is like a tracer without the actual incendiary to it, so they don't generate any heat and they don't become a fire hazard. But it's just like you're shooting a laser, because when you shoot it down range, each one of the rounds that you shoot, you actually see where it's going. So it's perfect for people that have horrible aim because you exactly see where you're going.
I like that. Beginners and man, isn't gun ownership just absolutely off the charts right now? And I think gun ownership is penetrating into new markets it wasn't there before, particularly women owners and other non-traditional gun owners. I think it's like kind of a growing space. I know my sister who lives in Bronxville, Ahoy, the commissioner of the NFL lives in Bronxville. She wants a gun. She wants a gun. Hey, Michelle. She wants a gun real bad.
Well, in Texas, we just had our governor just lifted a concealed carry requirement. So basically, as long as you can buy a gun, you can conceal carry. So the legislation they put through in Texas here, they are making it a little bit easier for gun ownership.
Texas is one of the easiest in the nation for gun ownership.
Yeah, and they just want to make it easier. And it's scary without certain rules that should be in place, but they,
isn't Texas an open carry state?
Yes.
I mean, instead of concealed carry, you can just have it out in the open.
Right, but in order to conceal carry, you need a permit for that, or you used
but
not anymore.
Great state of Texas.
Well, that's what's great about Texas. You don't have to have a concealed carry permit to conceal carry, but I think you can open carry too. So you can just have it on a holster out in plain as day. Like, most concealed carries, they expect you to hide it because people don't want to get freaked out when they see a gun. But Texas is one of the great states where you can do damn near anything you want to with a gun.
I can't wait to visit Texas. I really, really do. I think there's just going to be a lot of fun. So, guys, before we only have a little bit of minutes left, we do want to do a little bit of a follow-up. So, Lake Mead hit an all-time low this week. Lake Mead, there's officially water shortages for certain communities. Like, not shortages, like they don't have water in Arizona and Nevada based on the Colorado River. Lake Mead this week reached a level at the same level before the Hoover Dam was built, which is really terrifying. We brought up a water company weeks ago based on some technical setups. We looked pretty good. Avan and I were discussing spiritedly earlier this week, trying to figure out exactly what this company is and what they do. So this is another company where, man, I felt like it got away from me, but I still have my long-term ear to ground on this one. They took an absolute dive. They had a horrible week. It looks like they're getting a little resurgence here. I need to zoom in quite a bit, maybe get a little bit more. But I do want a little bit of help of what you guys think that they do. I'm going to jump to the overview. And I really quickly want to try to settle this. So this company is a private sector water resource company focused on the development of water supplies in geographical areas lacking available water resources. So they're going to have solutions for end waters for identifying, acquiring, and developing water rights, which basically to me means they're going to help you secure water around an area that you're interested in for real estate or commercial development. That being said, their margins are like off the chart because they're just a bunch of lawyers. They're a paper company, but they're focused on something that is in short supply, high scarcity. Why? Oh, they also did not have great earnings, which sucked. But that was last week, and they took a dump this week. Why did that? Can anybody help me figure out why that happened? And does anybody else have any water plays that they're keeping their eye on? I see we got a question in the chat. I'm going to jump to that in a second. I'm going to try to get this chart set up. But
yeah,
tell
everybody
me,
get involved. Get involved. Speak your piece.
What am I missing here?
So, in my understanding, for California, you have a couple of water sources, and yeah, the Colorado River, which basically it feeds into Lake Mead, and that provides water for Las Vegas and a lot of the southern state of California, and I think part of Arizona too. You also have this large aqueduct that comes off of from Northern California, the Delta, and that also supplies the state farmland as well. My understanding is that one of the things that this company could probably do is try to get a lot of the Delta water that's diverted out to the ocean for various marine life. That could be something that you to watch. I know that there's a particular smelt in the Delta that is protected under the 1970 Conservation Act.
Okay.
So diverting water away from the ocean and not caring about that smelt, which I think is not really significant in the ecosystem, might be something to look at. But the only two sources that, as far as my understanding goes, for California to get water is those two, the aqueduct they get from the Delta off of the Northern California side, and then you have the Colorado River that feeds into Lake Mead. I don't know if there's others sources out there, but being a former resident of California, that's one of the things I recall remembering. Anybody else that can shine more light on how California's water system works would be great. But it's a scary thing. And one of the reasons I moved away from that area is because the water situation was getting pretty bad. And this was back in 2015.
Legitimate issues, right? And it's going nowhere. It's going to get worse. It requires massive changes in lifestyle, or it requires massive changes in technology, desalinization, neither of which apparently are on the horizon. Okay, so what are we going to do? You guys are literally going to run out. Terrified. You're not coming from my Great Lakes water either, California. You got to move to Michigan if you want that. Okay, but I guess I am either fundamentally misrepresent and not understanding what this company is doing. And Gary's got, and this was Avan's point, Gary. That's a great point. If there's no water in the area, Mike, then how do they get you water? If there's no water in the area you are in, then how do they get you water? Basically, that was Avan's point as well. Like, if there's no water there, then what they're selling ain't useful, right?
I think I see the point with this company is that there's bound to be a big fight for water divergence somewhere. And that's where this company comes in, and that's why I think that the whole play on this is. So maybe now it's a good time to get in before the fights really start. But I don't want to suggest that.
I just cannot account. Maybe this was really just a market psychology thing where the bears were just like, no, you guys overbid this thing, we're gonna sell, and we're gonna bring this bad boy down. And that kind of makes sense, as it was way overextended, and now it's basically back in line with its Bollinger Bands, which makes more sense, logically speaking. I am not going to give up the fight for water as a valuable space. I think it is a huge crisis the whole world is going to have to deal with. My biggest thing is it's an issue that no one is going to want to talk about until they have to talk about it. And you don't want to be in that camp. You don't want to be privy to this a year from now. Yeah. You want to. Yeah.
Pipeline,
thank you.
Water pipeline, infrastructure, maybe some midstream plays that aren't doing so well in the oil space need to find a new way for revenue. So like, hey, we have these well-lubed pipelines. Maybe we can throw some water in there.
Got smoked on BP.
Why don't we just make one less drilling site for oil and instead drill for freaking water, or make a desalinization plant? I mean, these guys aren't seeing the sunrise And we're going to wake up one morning and water is going to be the most valuable commodity on the planet. And there just won't be enough to go around.
And bullets will be the second most valuable.
And,
yeah, exactly.
And this is kind of interesting because we also are talking about different plays around this in happy hour, like
great
agricultural plays. Same gentleman who gave us Chara also gave us another company like Agrify or Bioceres. These are AGFY. This is a company that has a lot of indoor like hydroponic and
wow. I like that, dude.
Indoor growing products.
Yeah, you got Sin Bio, iFarm, Iron Ox, Intelligent Growth Solutions, Urban Crop Solutions, Aero Farms, Plenty Tigers Farms. All of these are doing that, robotic hydroponic growth model to where you use very, very little water, very little resources, very little electricity, and it's the future of farming.
So that could be something we're looking at. Consolidated water is another name I've seen too. But that's a good point because at some point farmers are going to really start to feel the squeeze, and they're not going to be able to get as much water for their farmland activities as they do right now. Maybe the company we were just recently discussing, the water one, will have some play in that. And if farmers do get hit, then you're going to want to probably be in some of these indoor growing companies like Agrify. The other one that we were talking about, Bioceres, which is they make seeds that are drought resistant. So that's another thing that could happen with those. It's a good company.
How is that possible? How do you grow a plant without water? That one blew my mind when you told me that this week, Joseph. I just don't get that.
Yeah, it's something that probably has to do with crossbreeding plants to require less water. I don't know less, exactly. I don't know the science behind it, but the fact that we're there is encouraging because that's the reality we're gonna have to live with. Is that we're gonna have to figure out ways to conserve and better use our water, which goes to me because I like long showers.
Guys, don't get into AGFY yet. I'm seeing this RS. I'm in the daily chart. This is nuts. This seems a little. And Joseph, what's really concerning to me is that it keeps getting this peak at a little dip here. But have you seen that before, where the RSI is stubbornly high?
Yes, NVIDIA.
Okay, well, that's a go. Is that? I mean, I guess our peaks are coming down a little bit here, but I like the play nonetheless. I just would not be buying in on that price.
Yeah, this is really run, and the thing is that it had a nice rounding bottom, and then it broke out from when it retested that top around, what was it, $20? So it broke out of there, and you'd probably want to wait for it to come back closer to that level. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, this is a space that's starting to get a lot of attention.
Valid point.
It also works well with the. This is actually more of a cannabis play as well because of the products they make for indoor growing. But this is one of those things that could definitely, it has taken off, but it could be hold strong because of our drought situation.
Well, there's a lot. Unfortunately, it feels like this week there's a lot more to worry about than there is to be optimistic about, which sucks. And nobody wants to deal with that. Do we have? We only have a couple minutes left. Is there any other tickers? Anything else? Oh, guys, I did want to do a quick recap. But we got absolutely hosed on Reed. Great call by Avan on Berkshire. Just that it's holding up. I think the play is there nonetheless. I got screwed on water. We've added POW. BP, I'm getting hosed on. Energy, I thought the price of oil would stick around a little bit more. I don't know if it's getting dragged down. Metamaterials, this is a stock we brought up on this show. It's holding up fine. Palantir has been absolutely phenomenal this week. The 50 million in gold bars is interesting. Keep your eye on that. And if there's anything to know about Palantir, it's not the chart, it's not the price, it's what they do. Figure out what they do. Spend some time just learning about it. You're going to be amazed. Joby, we also called that. There's no way in hell you should overpay for an IPO. Wait for these things to come down. Remember, this was the autonomous taxi helicopter service. There's no way in hell that's going to pay off anytime soon. People that buy into that shit, that fear of missing out, are absolutely out of their mind. I don't know where we got Ashford Hospitality from. Oh, that's a REIT I grabbed. Yeah, I grabbed that REIT from the opening play. I like this. They own a shit ton of hotels. They do restructure their debt. Stock price has taken a huge dive lately. There's a lot of long-term shareholders that feel slighted. That's fine. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And whoever called out a rival on the show, thank you. Great job. I think it's been holding up comparably to. Let me back out here a little bit.
We're almost down to the SPAC price.
Yes, but it's at considering the week that we've had, I've seen more. This has been a ticker on my watch list that has not been red and not been big red. So I like it, and I think it's still a safe play. Do we have anything else that we got to touch on? I would like to say, Joseph, thank you so much for joining us, man. A subscriber that became a contributor, and a big part of it was because of, I think, what we do here at Benzinga on a daily basis.
I just want to say that one of the reasons how I even found Benzinga was because of the show that's coming up next, Pre-Market Prep. Those three gentlemen there are probably the smartest guys that I can find on just giving you loads of information and really good tips and tools on how to navigate this market. If you're sticking around for us, definitely stick around for them. They know what they're talking about way more than I do.
They're actual,
and I watch them every morning. They're definitely worth the watch. You'll get good education watching them.
And Spencer just got engaged, so wish him a happy.
Oh, great!
I know, right, man? I love that guy. If you guys ever get a chance to fly to Detroit, meet Spencer.
I'd like to meet that lock that man down.
I love that. I can't wait to meet her too. I'm sure she's badass. Well, great. Guys, it's been a lot of fun getting to hang out with you. I know we got to bounce. Spencer, take it away. Thank you for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk more stocks and get better together. Thank you for being here. It's been such a pleasure. I'll be sticking around. I know the YouTube channel is going to be cutting out, but we'll be here. Guys, have a great weekend. Take it easy. YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. All right. Yes. Cool. If we're still live, whatever. What's up, guys? Yeah. Spencer, take it away.
And congratulations, Spencer. I did not know.
Wow.
Yeah, man, what a rough week, huh?
I know. Good God.
This is like my first week back since my vacation. I'm just like, what did you guys do?
Trying to trade this is, that's gonna be absolutely crazy, man.